I got to lean down into it.
No, we're pretty good right here. I tested it earlier, but we're live. Friday night edition. We were going to do it Saturday, but you guys decided Friday night was it. So I got up early, went to work, and then drove over here. So Above the Cushion live at Allen's Automotive. We're going to talk to all of the champions. They're back there watching the flow race for the late models, living the dream, getting ready to go for 2025. You've already got started on 2025. You went down to the desert to the Wild West Shootout. They might as well have called it the Wild Weather Shootout because they didn't know what you were going to get one day to the next. It was raining, snowing, cold, hot. You got it all down there.
Yeah, we got there, and it was upper 70s when we got there. Beautiful the first couple days, and then went through a patch of snow and then a bunch of cold and wind, but we got some racing in, so that's what we went down there for, and start the season early. We had a really good trip, and really excited to get the season going.
I was out running chores at my place. I got some acreage in Goddard there outside of Wichita, so I was out running chores, so I wasn't able to watch, but I was watching my race pass and saw you were going to start on the pole of that feature, so I posted it, and everyone loved it on the Humboldt page, and then I think your mom chimed in at the motor crapped out on you.
Yeah,
just had to pull it back up.
Yeah, just had a little engine issue there. Ended up fixing it later in the week. Danny Crane helped us out there, got us some parts shipped over. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing. We were really pumped up starting on the pole. Had to end up starting 24th with the backup car, like you said, and drove up to 14th. We're really happy with that. I mean, really good cars there. We just pulled that thing out and kind of thrashed. It wasn't a complete car, so we had to really kind of work on it to get it ready, and kind of got done just right in time. And I was really happy passing 10 cars, with that kind of field,
Right.
So
yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot if you're going to take a backup car down to something like that. But when something does happen, you're glad you shoved it in the trailer at least, so you could
exactly. We said the whole time we were loading it, we're like, we're taking it, but we're not going to use it. We're not getting it out. And then lo and behold, we're getting it out the first night. But we put her up and didn't get her out the rest of the weekend.
Kind of looking back to 2024, you said at the banquet last year you were going to pull the double, you were going to get both track championships done, and here we are, a double track championship for 81 Speedway, Humboldt Speedway, against probably two of the baddest modified series in the whole entire country. When you put the percentage of cars that show up at Humboldt and 81, I mean, you topped them all.
Yeah, I agree, and I made that comment last year at the banquet, and that's really the goal. But realistically, you really think you can do it? Tad did it a couple years ago, which was awesome, but realistically, that was our goal, and really didn't think we were going to get there multiple times at both tracks. Kind of had to pull them out, both of them there at the end of the season, but really happy to get it through, pull them both out. Really proud of my team sticking it out. Found some speed late in the year, and we were able to do it.
Speaking of later in the year, Heartland Modified, of course, kicked off the season. You were strong right out of the gate, but then that great night in July, you got it done in front of the hometown crowd, and best of the best of the Heartland Modified Tour, which arguably right now is probably one of the toughest traveling series besides the USMTS.
Yeah, I agree, and really that was the turning point of the season. We were struggling off and on up until that point, and we actually won the feature up at Humboldt that week before, and really felt good. I had a lot of confidence going into that night, and everything just aligned perfectly. And it was a big win getting against some really good competition. So
I was able to be there in victory lane with you. You said that was the biggest win of your career that night. And I've never been in that position. I never raced more than some go-karts and some stuff, never had a big win. So when you wake up, the next day, are you thinking you had a dream until you walk out into the kitchen and there's a trophy? And, I mean, what do you got going on?
Really, it was just surreal. Didn't really believe it, again. But yeah, just playing it back, watching the video back over, and really just reliving it, watching it on Racing Dirt and seeing it from a different perspective, behind the camera is a lot different than kind of what you were thinking was in the car, and just going back and seeing where I could have been even a little bit better than I was, because I did make a few mistakes there in lap traffic there at the end of the race. Made it a little bit exciting, a little more than I wanted it to be, but just go back and look at things, relive it there, and it was awesome. It was a great win for me and my team.
you know, when you a local night, we're going to run 20 laps. But you go to the U.S. MTS, you're going to run 40. You know, Heartland does some 30s. Well, sometimes that's the difference that some of those other traveling guys have. It's that being able to go the full distance.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Nick Ballman and I, great friends. He would make some U.S. MTS starts, and he'd be like, well, I'm good for 20, but I don't know what's going to happen the other 20, you know. And sometimes that happens. We'll have a local guy, they're leading, and they get to that very end. And what is it, a psyche thing? It just kind of psychs you out. You're like, okay, I know I've done 20 perfect, and they're not telling me any laps, and I know I got 10 or 20 more. What's going through your mind?
Right. I think some of it could be some of psyching things out, but I think too a lot of it is just we don't have the practice of going that much further. When we're running more laps, we're you got to manage your tires differently. You got to manage your car, manage the whole race differently, and just pick your battles when you're ready to do them. And I think that's really the biggest thing with the 30-lap races. I think that's a big thing of it. Speaking of giving them away, I give one away up at Green Valley at the Heartland Series at the end of the year. Kind of the same situation there. I think I led probably the first 18 laps or something and gave it away. Jumped the cushion and gave it away there. But I think it's a lot of it is the aspect of just getting in the routine of running more laps and how to work your car.
Work it down. Let's go back to the start. I'm always curious how people even get into this life, right? I'm a little kid. My grandpas, they take me to the track and boom, I'm hooked. But how did it get started for you?
It's been a long ride. I started when I was 7 in go-karts and traveling over there in Wichita to Winfield, Wellington. We ran karts over there for many years. Traveled kind of the Midwest with some of the traveling national go-kart tours for a while there, and started my big car career in B-Mods in 2009 with a lot of help from John Allen and everybody here at Allen's Automotive, and won the championship at Humboldt that first year, and then we bumped up to modifieds, maybe a little bit too soon, maybe not, but struggled a little bit for a couple of years, but really got our feet, I feel like underneath us, good support system behind us, and I think we're ready to make another run this year.
Yeah. Speaking of that B-Mod thing, you got behind the wheel of a B-Mod in the last couple of years, and I think some people think the B-Mod deal is just kind of a go fun mess around, but them guys are serious.
Oh yeah, the B-Mod deal is getting really big. It's they're definitely, when I started B-Mods in 2009, the modifieds then are probably going about the speed of what the B-Mods are now. And just the competition between the B-Mods, any of the classes, the competition with technology, everything is getting so tight that, it just takes little things every night to be able to be in the right positions to win these races.
Kind of looking forward to this year. You guys were kind of chatting about it, but Humboldt not going to run a weekly A-Mod class this year. Want to hear your thoughts on that, but also want to know kind of what you guys have teed up for the year so your fans can chase you around.
Yeah, kind of disappointing that Humboldt's not going to have a full season. It's my home track, one of my favorite tracks in the country. We won the championship 2 years in a row now, so really was pumped up about that. But it's a bum, but I don't blame John or JR one bit. The car count hasn't been there. I understand it's a business; they got to make money, and we're trying to get cars there all year last year, and it just wasn't working out. So fully understand that. We plan on supporting Humboldt as much as we possibly can. Plans this year is I think we're going to try to start out on the Heartland Tour and see how that goes. Try to hit all the 81 races. I think we can do that, and all the Humboldt shows and anything around, and hopefully maybe see how the end of the year goes with the USRA points, and maybe chase something there. We'll see.
Chase with the big one, because you're not far from a bunch of USRA tracks, just right here. You're not too far of a pull from Wheatland to get some stuff done for US MTS and of course Wichita, and so it's going to be good to see you out there with that 127. Without partners on that 127, you can't get this done up and down the road. Thank them partners.
Yeah, definitely. first, I want to thank my mom, my dad, who fund my operation, my wife, my son, and my daughter, who support me every single week. As everyone back here knows, everybody on the show here, it's a full-time job in itself. We're at the shop 7 days a week, even right now during the winter, just messing with things. We just got back from Vado, so we're just gearing up for the rest of the season. But it is a full-time job, and we all sacrifice a lot of time in the shop away from family. So got to thank them. Sonic Racing has been a really big part of my racing career the last couple of years. So got to thank Brock and Rick with Sonic. Bill's Built Race Cars. I've been with Bob since the beginning in 09. Just got a brand new 25 Bill's Built and ran it out of Vado. It is really, really good. I'm really excited for the direction that Bill's Built's going. Hopefully we can sell him a couple cars. Danny Crane Race Engines. Danny's been doing the motors for about 5 years, and besides the one little hiccup here, a few weeks ago in Vado, we've had no engine issues at all. And what we did have, Danny goes above and beyond to get us taken care of. He shipped us parts out there. We were able to put the engine back together. Nothing major was hurt, and we ran the rest of the week on it. So I'm really thankful for Danny. Oakwood Coins has been with me. Hangout Bar and Grill, Ogden Transportation, Heartland Dirt Works. Gio Grimler and Phillips is my dad's accounting firm. He's been with, supporting racing around. He supports Humboldt Speedway. He's on a lot of the local racers here in Humboldt, supporting them. So just got to thank him and everybody that gets us up and down the road. My grandpa, he's 78 years old, and he is at the shop every single day, every night. He builds all the bumpers. I've been 15 bumpers a year, and he builds all them bumpers. He's out there. He can outwork any of us at the shop, outwork all the kids and stuff. Just that generation. But gotta really thank him, and Brent, Adrian, Tim Van Gogh, and everybody that helps me out. It is a team effort, and just really thankful to be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, just that sponsor list off. If anyone thinks it's easy, it takes a complete army to get it done, to run up and down the road like that. And man, those are, of course, you mentioned some that are supporters at Humboldt Speedway, and it's awesome just to have them all. And next weekend, Saturday night, Wichita Union Stockyards, we're going to have a good time, and you're going to get you 2 more of them rings.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2 of them rings, and hopefully 2 more of them Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to thank Central Spray Foam and Cement Lifting for supporting the championship rings. Ethan and Shelby Hafner stepped up and getting that done. So they're a great couple. If you need anything spray foam, need your cement lifted, they'll come right over to Humboldt and Chanute and Iola and the 8 Center and get it done for you. So, man, we really appreciate you. You get out there and you represent 81 Speedway. You represent Humboldt on the big screens, the flow, the at Vado, across the country. And we just want to thank you for getting out there and showing that right here, 2 of these tracks have the best modified racers in all of the country.
Yeah, we really do have a lot of really good cars, and really thankful that we have 2 really great tracks in this area. 2 hours apart, Friday, Saturday night. What John and JR are doing is really good for the racing community, and love racing both tracks.
Yep. Well, buddy, we appreciate you very much. We're going to see you next Saturday night.
Yeah,
and get
sounds
you that
good.
ring. Go back there and grab one of them other guys. I'm gonna do some ad reads here.
Perfect.
Go see who's going to roast
Thank
Shambo to come up here, buddy. Peyton Phillips, right here, your 2024 Army Contract USRA Modified Track Champion at Humboldt Speedway. Looks like Larry Trester is going to join us here. He is your Wilson's Automotive and Fabrication Mini Stock Tuner Champion for 2024. What's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot.
Man, you've been in here. I don't know if the cat's out of the bag yet, but it's getting ready to be building a new car.
Yep.
You're going to retire the old, I think it's a Tiburon.
Yeah, it'll be on the track a little bit this year, I think. But I may got a buddy or 2 that's going to run it, and we'll see. Either blow up or somebody will quit racing it.
Well, no wins this year. You didn't quite get there, but consistency is what got you that championship. You and Travis Bockover just went back and forth all year long.
And it was a blast.
You finally bested him. 62 points was the gap when it was all said and done. We don't get to see it that often. So I want to go back to how you even got into this deal, because you've not been doing it that long.
No. This was actually my second season of racing. Never ever thought I'd be a points champion or anything like that. But my uncle built cars and always had somebody else driving for him. I got pictures at home from back in the 80s when I was a little bitty kid, and always been around it. Just always wanted to get into it. I raced go-karts for 3 or 4 years up at Lawrence.
Okay.
They took that track down, moved it north to Kansas City, so we got out of that and finally got myself in a position where I could get into something and get back on a dirt track.
Yeah. Looking back at 2024, at what point in the season did you kind of look at you looking at the points, as someone looking at the points for you and go, hey, we need to keep our nose clean for the next couple nights because we're in this deal?
Travis Bockover. he come over and said something about it was going to be me and him at the end of the season for points before I even realized that we were even that close or up towards the front of the points. And I just had a blast racing against Travis. He's a good driver, keeps it clean. We had a blast.
Yeah.
Me and him actually talked a lot, and we just had a blast. It was the fun. That makes it fun when you can get next to a driver, race all season long, and still be clean and good sportsman about it.
Yeah. We're real blessed between Humboldt and 81 Speedway to all of the classes, the drivers, they all just mesh. They all just get along.
Yeah.
Wilson Automotive Fabrication, mini stock tuners, no different. You guys are almost all pitted together anyway. You're at the drivers' meeting hanging out together. You're at the pay shack getting paid together. I mean, it's just a big group, big friends group that just happens to get out there and race. Every once in a while we get some outsiders come into the mini stock deal, and I think that just they want to get there because they see the competition we have at Humboldt for the mini stock tuners. We get some of the Wichita crowd comes over every once in a while. We got quite a few of the kids that run at 81. Yeah. So during the summer when they, not in school on Friday, they can make it over for Friday night racing. But man, last year went away from the USRA rules, kind of meshed it with the 81 Speedway rules. What was your thought when we made that decision to kind of mesh the rules together?
It really didn't bother me any, because the rules that you have for the mini stocks, your rear wheel drive cars, it's not going to make them any faster or any slower than the tuners are going to be.
Right.
The front wheel drive cars. And it kind of opened it up for a lot more cars to show up. There's the old pony stock class. That used to be a big class over here at Humboldt. Mm-hmm. That opened up for a lot of them old pony stock cars that come back out of retirement.
The one, number 59, Andy Smith, he's a kid. I call him a kid because he's only like a sophomore or something in the Wichita area there. And he had I believe it was a white and red little Pinto car used to bring over. And unfortunately, it met its demise in turn 4 at Humboldt. But it was that's what I remember seeing. You'd go to it was called Hutchison Raceway Park, over in South Hutchison, and there'd be 30 Pintos there, and they'd have an A feature, and that's the kind of the mini stock type of racing that I remember. So seeing a car like Andy Smith's and that 59 was always awesome, because that takes me back to my childhood, and that stuff I remember.
The last car my uncle built was a pony stock Ford Mustang. So
we get some of the Ford Mustangs too. Harley Gajero, she has a it's a Mustang, but they put a fabricated body on it. So, you know, you were talking earlier, some new cars sounds like going to show up at Humboldt this year to race with us.
From what I understand, we're going to have pretty good class this year, just by what I've heard that's coming to race this season. So I've been, I guess, being points champion, people look at it and contact you on Facebook and ask you questions, and I've had quite a few people contact me and ask me questions about it, and I've seen a couple of them sent me pictures of cars that they've bought and stuff like that, and I'm going to have them down here on Friday nights.
Good. If anyone is looking for a car, I believe Bo Davis still has a race-ready, turnkey car, just needs to put some graphics on it and go race. Contact Bo Davis. He's over in Wichita. He's one of our stock car drivers over there, and Harley Gajero's cars for sale as well. So if you're still thinking about it, you're on the fence. There's a couple cars still to be had. Yeah, two really good cars. If you know anything about Bo Davis, he's raced with us a little bit at Humboldt. The intention. I went to his birthday party last week, and he'd had a few drinks, but his intention already. I guess he didn't have a few drinks. He had a few Coca-Colas, and he was kind of jazzed up. So he was saying he was going to come race a little bit with at Humboldt. But if you know anything about him, very particular about how he takes care of the car, and had this car was for his daughter, and it just didn't work out. So if anyone's looking for a car, contact Bo Davis, and if you can't find him, let me know. I'll get you in touch with him because we need to get some more. We've been talking with Derek Wilson at Wilson's Automotive and Fabrication. Gonna put some more money into the Freedom 50 this year, and of course working on a few more sponsors because I want to really get that prize up there. That's an awesome race. People think it's going to be boring 50 laps watching the tuners, but you guys get spread out pretty quick. And then you just basically chase each other down and put on a good race.
It's a lot of arm work too.
Talking about going the 50 laps, the difference between you guys kind of normally run 15 to 20 sometimes in there, and then you're going to go the 50 laps. What do you have to do to the car or mentally prepare to be able to go 50 laps?
Me, I done nothing to the car. But, this year, that 50 lapper there, I think we had a caution with like 25, 26 laps left. And I was thinking the race was over. We'd already done 50 laps. So, you just can't get in your own head over it. That's my biggest thing is get out there and I think, okay, 5 or 6 laps into it. Okay, we're about 10 laps and overthinking, letting out, stuff like that. So mentally, you just got to stay out of your own head sometimes to run these longer races.
Make sure you're good. Like I said, we haven't had you on Above the Cushion before, so we want to get to know you. Where did you grow up?
I was born and raised around Iola, Humboldt area.
Okay.
Humboldt's always been my home track. That's where my uncle always had a car at. Yates Center Speedway. We went there a lot when Yates Center was up and running.
Okay.
Just around here.
When you're not at the track, sometimes you don't have a lot of time to watch races. But if you get a chance, what class do you try to always pay attention to?
A lot of the times, late models.
Late models. Well, you're in luck this year because we're going to have quite a few late models at Humboldt Speedway, and we're going to see the sprint cars again too. I know sprint cars was heavily requested from the area, and we love to see them. We had to do a few little upgrades to get there, but I'm definitely a late model guy for sure. So I'm looking forward to having them in here and getting going.
And the night that we ran, I think it was Rifle that we ran with. The tuners ran the same night they ran here at Humboldt.
Yep, with the Rev Series. Yep.
And they parked all around us, and it was a fun night.
My uncle drove a late model for a long time, so that, you know, since I was a little kid till I was in my 20s. So
Yeah.
I got a real love for the late models. Unfortunately, they always bring an announcer with them, so I never get to call the race. But then I finally get to watch a race, so that's always fun. You know, said you got a new job. Sounds like that's going pretty good, hauling some grain and taking care of all the local farmers around here.
Yeah, well, I actually moved to Burlington. I work for Perry Milling Feed and Supply up at Waverly, and I drive their bulk grain truck up there, deliver to all the farmers.
Well, we gotta get them farmers taken care of, because that's the heart and soul of this country. You know, want you to take some time to thank all your sponsors, your partners, your helpers, anyone that leans in to help you get to the track, get around the track. You know, want you to you know, think of everyone that's there and helped you, and give them a shout out, because championship's nothing to shake a stick at. And
No.
you did an absolutely fantastic job, and consistent. And without you know, consistency comes with working on the car, having good help.
Yeah.
Thank those people.
I got to thank my wife and my kids, putting up with me throwing tools and getting mad. The whole tipper on it was hard to find parts for, so always had to order them, worried about whether they were coming in or not, so they got to deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
This year I got to give a big shout out to Derek Tompkins with Tompkins Repair. He put the roll cage in my new car. Got to give a big shout out to him. Got to thank H&H, TJ's Family Diner, Bulky Johnson Hot Rod Shop in Humboldt, Bulk Tax and Accounting. I know there's some others I'm forgetting. Bar Tire in Burlington. Yeah, and just anybody and everybody that turned a wrench on that car.
Yeah.
It helped out a lot.
You know, you of course, going to stay local, run with the Humboldt series. You kind of mentioned coming over to 81, maybe giving it a shot if you can get away on a Saturday.
If we can get the car running right over here, get her running good up front, and I talked the wife into it, we may come over on a Saturday night and run over there.
Yeah. Where else can your fans see you? What else is on the schedule you kind of have circled?
Right now, just Humboldt.
Humboldt?
Yeah.
Go down and run battle at the Buzz?
No.
Not do that one?
We may go run nationals this year.
Okay.
Depending on how we do throughout the season, we may go over and run nationals. I know Travis walked over and then went over this year and ran, and I think we can go over. Hopefully, he's going at the end of this season.
Hope so.
We can go over and hang out with him and run with him some more. So
yeah, that'd be good. Well, man, next Saturday night. I don't know if you know this, but championship ring is the
I
prize.
didn't know we were getting rings.
Yeah, championship rings is the prize. JR had to dream that up. He thought that was cool. So we did that. We did that last year, and thanks to our friends at Central Spray Foam and Cement Lifting, great sponsor, great supporter of racing over in I guess they moved to Cheney, so it's a Cheney, Kansas thing now. But they stepped up to the plate and said we're not going to let the champions go without the rings, and so we're going to get that. So that's a pretty cool trophy. And
that's awesome.
I hope you're driving that semi truck with that ring on all the time after that.
Well, if I can keep it away from my wife.
Yeah, that's you might have to arm wrestle over that deal. Well, man, I appreciate you showing up tonight. I know there was some confusion. We kind of went back and forth until the last minute getting over here, but I'm happy to be over here. Happy to talk to you guys. I love coming over every Friday night and seeing everyone as I walk through the pits and just having a good time. And I want to thank you for supporting Humboldt Speedway and what a great year you had. And I'm looking forward to 2025, and I'm really looking forward to next Saturday night.
Me too.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Go grab one of the other guys. I'm going to read some sponsors shout outs right here. We need to thank the Automatic in Wichita, Kansas. I don't have my list in front of me. 3350 South Hydraulic Avenue, the Automatic. Get all your general maintenance, tires, brakes, oil change. They do some heavy line work and get an engine and transmission replaced over there. Let them know that that Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway, or Above the Cushion sent you that way. Coming up next on the queue is the 7 of Dallas Joyce. He's gonna, man, you looking good.
Well, I got off work and went to the basketball game with my wife, and ain't made it home to change yet.
Well, I haven't seen you since you got married, and I want to say congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I saw the pictures. Lakota, absolutely beautiful. You were looking dapper, and you even got pranked by one of your buddies in a wedding dress.
Yes, he did get me, but I had the opportunity to get him back. He got married in December.
Okay.
And there's a video on TikTok floating around that pretty good one.
Well, man, you've been really busy this off season. You got some property. I seen you got it cleaned up. You guys got your new home.
Yep.
That's a beautiful home, by the way. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Looking good. You got the kids running around. What you been doing this off season?
Well, you said it there at last, running around. That's about it. Between the house and the shop getting done, I got to finish stuff in the shop and finish stuff up on the house. That's pretty much been it. I just moved the car Sunday out there to the new shop and put it on jack stand. So
nice.
Probably better get working on it here pretty quick.
We're John Mal and I were talking about it. I got some maintenance to do on a 4-wheeler at 81. I got some stuff to do at Humboldt, and I'm running out of months. I'm running out of weeks here pretty quick before we get racing at the 1st of March. Kind of go back to last year, doubled it up. To 2 in a row right there. You win. We had a deal. If you went 5 in a row, I'd give you the check. I had a little bit of lead fall off after that 4th one there, and Dylan Allen actually picked up the win that night. But you regrouped, you came back, and I think you got a couple checks hanging up in your new house from me.
Yes, we did. We ended up with 2, the Havoc at the Hummer. The lead deal, it's part of it. It broke. Sucks that it was coming to the checker, but it's a rule that got, put in place just because keep people safe, and is what it is.
Yeah. Always have a very beautiful race car. You take super good care of that car. It's really a work of art. It's some people would not have that on the track, but you get out there and get after it. What's this year you looking like? You're gonna always have an awesome wrap on that thing too. It stands out on the track, and what are you thinking for this year?
Well, kind of married to purple cage color. It was powder coated purple, so it'll have purple in it. But hopefully, should be able to debut it here. Couple 3 weeks if I can get the body put together on them, put a new body on it, and adjust to the new body rules to what Mid-America has switched to and what John and Leon's came up with for Humboldt. So change that up a little bit, and it'll be different from any other car I've had yet. So it should look pretty good.
Nice. Besides trying to go for a 3rd one this year, what's the rest of the season and schedule look like?
Well, they have a race in the bottom part of Arkansas for $20,000 to win. I think we're going to try to make it down there for it. Kind of have something going on with my motor guy with JT, and I think we may try to make an appearance at the Big Buck 50 with my factory stock. So I don't know. May try to jump around and hit some money shows.
Yeah, that's always good. You got to get around and really saw an uptick in money the last couple of years, especially coming into 2025. There's I think John was telling me about 100,000 to win show. There's some 20s, there's some 50s. There's some big money for the full body cars, which we've been kind of spreading it around to the late models and the modifieds, but now it's time for the stock cars and the factory stocks to shine.
I think they've, I don't know, full body cars always put on a good show. I think fans like to watch them, and there's a lot of money getting moved around for all classes and that, which is good. I mean, everything else is climbed price wise, to be able to operate the track, to be able to build cars, people even to go watch them. I mean, everything's gone up with the economy, and that's, we're in 2025 now. And I think that's a big part of what we're seeing with these big purses is they're putting the money out there and trying to draw a lot of cars in. And I think it's a good deal. I think it's going to work out.
Are you going to kind of stick to, you've been running Friday night Humboldt, I believe Saturday going to Caney, and then you try to catch a Sunday show every once in a while, if I'm correct on that.
It's hard not to go to Humboldt. I mean, it's especially now. I can, if I don't go, I'll at least hear them while I'm in the house. I'm pretty close to the track now. Caney's close. They're same rules as Humboldt. We tried to make some races at Tulsa. We've been to Salina for the special there. Just kind of depends. Saturday, I'm just kind of following wherever we went to Meeker. And I don't know, just kind of jump around, have fun, go Saturday. It's kind of hard sometimes. The kids ride horses and stuff, and my wife works Saturdays, so it's hard to make a long haul somewhere. So usually we'll run down to Caney if we're going to run Saturday.
I remember Jeremy and I had you called you on the show one time, and you kind of said that the wife and the kids were kind of slowing down the horse thing so you could go race a little more. But sounds like your time has ran up. The horse deal's back on full.
Well, and the kids want to ride this year. Last year they kind of want to set out a little bit and that, let us move around, do some things. But if they want to go ride and my wife wants to go do something, we'll just sit out and just race when we can.
Yep, that's always a good plan. We kind of talked about it, but it's been a while. I kind of want to go back since we got you here. We got you actually on the show, not on the phone. Take us back to how you even got into this crazy world.
Well, since I was a kid, my great uncles got into racing when they got back from the war. And it was something my dad got into as a kid, and then it just transitioned down. That's the only thing I knew. So watched it growing up, and the only thing I ever wanted to be was a race car driver. So now I got it as a hobby, and then, got to, of course, go to work on the other part of it. But yeah. It's been fun. I mean, it's like anything else you do. I mean, there's ups and downs to it. It's humbling. You can be top of the world at Friday night and turn around Saturday and have a tore up race car. That's racing.
Right.
It's just now that I'm getting older, my boy has the same itch that I had. So it's pretty cool to experience that part of him dying the race. So just, family deal, and grew up in it. And John and my dad's been friends for as long as I can remember. So I don't know. It's just kind of like Dylan and Kenton.
Yeah.
If you're around it all the time, that's the only thing you want to do.
Yeah. Speaking of the boy, what's maybe a go-kart, little dabble in something? What are we thinking there?
He's got a cart. Of course, Dad's got to get it finished. He's actually got a little cage cart. And
okay.
Hopefully we're going to build a little practice track out in the field and let him have some test sessions before we turn him loose. And then I think we may start taking him venturing off and going places, see how he likes it.
Yeah. What kart stuff is around? I'm not familiar with the go-karts is kind of making a revitalization in Wichita with the little 81 Speedway on the corner of the track there. What's around here?
That 81, and then there's a couple guys around here that have just some tracks to mess around on. And then Oklahoma has a indoor deal that goes on during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a few tracks in the summertime. And, it's kind of what we're going to shoot towards, do this summer and let him get some practice laps. And maybe this winter we'll go have some fun.
Yeah. I think I've seen the indoor deal. I think they have that on Racing Dirt.
Mm-hmm.
They do that live. And I've been a part of some go-kart stuff, a little bit of racing, but did some officiating for the go-kart, and it's a different world.
Yeah, it's very different. Hayden's definitely the one to talk about on karts. I don't know much about him, but no, it's definitely different. And he thinks that's what he wants to do. So that's the easiest thing we can get him in at his age.
Yeah. You know, you do some traveling around, and you see a lot of stuff. You know, what's a class that you like to watch that you try to, you know, it's tough. You're trying to get your car ready. You got the wife, you got the kids, you know, you're trying to focus on your racing, but if you can catch a race, you know, what's a type of class are you wanting to watch?
I like super stocks. That's probably, other than late models, that's my favorite class. I'll go up period just through the night, and I try to watch just track conditions and see what's changing. But if we go sit down and watch, it's super stocks or late models.
Well, you're in luck this year. Larry and I were talking about it. Late model is going to make a big appearance at Humboldt this year. We got quite a few on the schedule going to hit, and of course, after the season's over, we got a couple weeks off, and then we're going to see the World of Outlaw late models in October there. So that's going to be one you maybe have to mark on the calendar. No events that day. We're going to watch the late models.
Well, the bad thing about the late models, I believe, is factory stocks are racing with them that night too. So I guess we'll get to see them regardless.
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't pay attention to the schedule that much. I have to admit that they change it on me. They don't tell me, and every once in a while I got to look and see what's going on. Without all your marketing partners, your supporters, that 7 car couldn't do what it does, man. And I want you to take this time, thank everyone on that ride, and help you pick up this 2-in-a-row championship.
Cowboy Cutters, they've been with me for quite a while now. Chuck and his wife are great. He actually officiated our wedding. We've got to know them pretty well. They're great people, and I'm glad to have them on my car. I got Howard's Electric on there. He's been with me for 3 years now. JT with JT's Racing Engines has fixed me up every year since I switched to him, and had great success. My brother with AJ Farms, Charlotte Miller with Farm Bureau Insurance, my cousin at TNA Hedge Post, and caught me on the spot. I wasn't even planning on doing this tonight. This may be the hardest part of doing this, when you get out and you're like, oh man, I got to think of all my sponsors. It's hard when you get put on it.
Yeah.
But no, BSB Shocks, I went to them after it was a little bit before midseason last year. I started working with them, and we found something really good and real balanced combination. I got Peyton Taylor on the side of my car. He helps me out all the time, whether it's day or night. I can call him. He's been a good partnership with me, and great friend relationship that we built since I switched over, and he's part of, I'd recommend him to anybody. But got El Rincon Mexican Restaurant, and of course we go in there and eat all the time, so probably put it on the side of there even if they didn't do any sponsoring with me. But maybe my kid's favorite place to eat there. But just everybody on the car. Got a new deal kind of in the works right now with a guy, and I'm hoping we figure something out. I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal. And then my son got his first buck this deer season, and he made a really good double lung shot, and surprised me. Couldn't find him.
Oh.
Could not find him. Well, called a dog in, and the guy that found him, well, he ended up cutting us a heck of a deal. He wouldn't take hardly any money for finding him. So he's going to be on the race car this year. So that'd be a cool new one added, and really looking forward to that. Brian Swan with K&B Powder Coating. I've known Brian, been good friends with him for a long time now. They do excellent work, do all the powder coat on my car. So I just, huge thank you to all my sponsors. Shooter's Liquor was another one that came on board last year. And then A.C. Skidding came on board also last year.
I've heard a lot of, I'm not a hunter in particular, but I've heard got a guy I work with, his son got his first buck. My brother-in-law, his brother-in-law, nephew got his first this year. So that's kind of been a trend for the end of 24, beginning of 25, the kids picking up their first hunt.
Yes, and that's a good thing because, I mean, hunting's kind of dying off. It's not very many people do it anymore, but it's good to see young kids getting into it. And that's something that me and my wife get to share with our boy, and it's a good time.
I got 10 acres outside of Wichita that we moved to in July, and when we get done here, I'll show you the buck that I picked up on the trail cam at the back of the property. So, I said, I'm not a hunter, but I knew there was back 3 acres of my property are wooded, and I knew that there was something hanging out back there, so we put up some trail cams. And, and caught some good stuff.
They're hanging out about everywhere. Me and Lakota, we went up because our alumni deal was tonight, the basketball game. We went into Humboldt, and there was probably 10 does standing in the baseball field while we turned there to go into town. So, no, you can find them about anywhere anymore.
I've been, of course, every Friday night I drive to Humboldt, and then I always got to go home because we got to do 81 the next day, and I got kids and wife. I got the whole gamut too. So I've been real lucky going home every night. That there's only been one time I came around a curve, and I don't even remember what towns I was in between, but there was probably 20 of them just standing in the middle of the road. But I've been real fortunate. Nothing's run out in front of me. I don't know, wood, knock on wood.
That's a treacherous stretch whenever you cut from Buffalo over the Fredonia. There's a lot of big deer over there, and they travel all the time.
Yeah, I take out of Humboldt up the highway and then go Iola back through Eureka.
Okay, so you cut across through Eureka. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. So it gets there ain't much out there.
No.
It's me and a few truckers, and then like I said, I've been real lucky. Nothing's run across me when I'm flying down the road 70, 75. Well, speed limit. I don't know if any troopers listening to this. I always drive the speed limit going to and from. So, well, man, next Saturday night we're gonna see you.
Yes, sir. Planning on it.
Get another one of them rings.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I didn't know. We kind of knew something last year, but I haven't really had the chance to talk to John or anything like I did last year because of everything going on. So I didn't know what they kind of had in the works going out there to do a combined banquet.
Yeah.
Should be a pretty neat thing.
It's a Wichita Union Stockyards. It's an absolutely beautiful building. There's going to be a little bit of dancing, rocking Tony D's. He's going to be there doing a little DJing. There'll be a little dancing. And like I said, there's some longhorns out on the property at Wichita Union Stockyards, and it'll be a good time. So we're going to crown you the champion. It's not 2024 season's not quite over yet. Next Saturday night, we'll make it official, and we'll get started on 2025. So then your clock's running to get your car ready to go.
Yeah, it's running fast now. Time's picking up.
It's going real quick, but man, we appreciate you for everything that you do. You give some money back to the classes. You're always looking for sponsors to help out to get some more money for the races. And we want to thank you for being a great supporter of Humboldt Speedway, of the Home Savings Bank Factory Stock class. Great competitor. You always nice and clean, and you take care of your stuff and you get it done. And then you go other places and you show them why they need to show up to Humboldt, because we got the best factory stocks in the whole Mid-America realm. And we can't thank you enough for everything you do for racing. And we appreciate you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, there you go, buddy. Go back there and get the next one and ram up here. We got to thank our great friends over at Uhlik Music for supporting us here. The board, the mics, everything that makes it possible to do Above the Cushion. Wouldn't you know, I posted a photo after I packed up the whole entire studio, and all fits in a cardboard box, and I can travel anywhere with it. Looking like Tyler Kidwell gonna join us. What are you guys doing back there? Playing dominoes, dice?
We're just bench racing.
Just bench racing. Well, buddy, you had a great year.
Yeah.
You knocked it absolutely out of the park at both tracks.
Yeah, we were.
You showed up a few more times at 81. You had something to say about it over there, but man, you put it to them just all year long. Just consistency. I mean, win after win after top 5. Man, it was awesome.
Yeah. We were really, really consistent this year. And sure, as a racer, we want to win every race that we can. But we it was probably one of the most consistent seasons we've ever had as far as top fives, top threes. Heck, we went months before we ever fell out of the top three. It took a little bit to get going, but we just kept working on the car and just kept getting better and better every week, working with Luke and them guys up north there. And we finally started kind of hitting on something, and we were really starting to get pretty decent there.
What point in the season do you look at the points? Does your wife look at the points? Does someone go, hey man, we need to probably keep it a little cleaner because this deal's looking gold right now?
For the national points?
For the national points and the Humboldt points.
Yeah. Well, just like I say every year, I mean, we start the year off not points racing. We just kind of go race to race, and obviously Humboldt's 10 minutes from the house, so we always kind of end up in the points hunt there at the end of the year. So, I don't know, about mid season on, when we know the season's kind of starting to wind down and we're there, we're like, okay, we've made it this long, we might as well go ahead and go for it and try to keep stuff clean, stay out of trouble, and lock it up. But yeah, probably mid-season, toward the end of the season, if we're right there within a few points or whatever, we'll start kind of pay attention to it.
Yeah. Of course, running for national points as well. Peyton and I were talking about, I think there's sometimes people think, well, I'll go run a B-mod deal because that's pretty easy, but it's not. That whole entire nation for USRA is absolutely stacked up with hitters, and if someone thinks they're just going to jump B-mod and it's going to be a cakewalk, it's not. It's not easy. You guys slip up off of 2 and 4 of them will go right by you. I mean, it's absolute hitters. At Humboldt, the field is absolutely stacked. Of course, you go over to 81, half of the field from Humboldt's there, a new field meets, and it's a bunch of hitters too.
Yeah, it's definitely probably one of the most challenging classes out there. I mean, everybody's so close for the most part. It's definitely a very tough class to be in, and there's a lot of A-mod guys that have moved down, and obviously I don't think they're moving down because they think, oh, we're gonna go cherry pick. A lot of the guys have a lot of respect for the guys that's been doing it for a while in the B-mod series, and they know it ain't gonna be easy, but I mean it's tough, and I think that's why we're still in it. I feel like we've got a little bit of unfinished business to do before we may think about moving up.
Yeah,
but it's a tough class, and we've had some B-mod guys move up to A-mod, and they're kind of like, man, it feels easier, and I'm like, there ain't no way, but it's just one of those things. It's a very competitive class, and there's just a lot of really good talent behind the wheel of those cars. So.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned it, a few things you'd like to check off before maybe you think about stepping up. What's some stuff on your list you want to get check marked?
Well, I mean, just we want to kind of go out there, and we don't really shoot for it at the beginning of the year, but it'd be cool to win a national championship in the B-mod class. We got 5th this year. We needed a few more good nights, and a few more nights period to throw away a couple of bad nights, but definitely wouldn't mind trying to get a national championship and just maybe, kind of knock down a couple of crown jewel events that pay pretty decent. So if we can knock those down, then we may, within the next few years, move up and do something. So
first kind of crown jewel event that's going to hit this year, Battle at the Bull Ring. Always right in your backyard. It's a great event. Reese Solander picked up the win last year. He's already registered. He'll be back. He's gonna try for 2 in a row. But that's another event because we kind of open up the rules. We pull them all in. They come from Canada. They come from Wisconsin. They just come from everywhere. There's a couple different sanctioning bodies that join us to do that. But it's in your backyard. Talk about the Battle at the Bull Ring.
It's a great event. We we enjoy going to that thing, every year. We've been really close. We had one season where we led some of the laps and in the late stages there, and just had a late race caution that kind of bit us. And I enjoy it a lot just because it is in our backyard at a home track that I feel like I do pretty good at. So I feel like going into it, we've got a little bit of an advantage, but it's been going on for so many years now. There's a lot of guys that, at the beginning of the year call Humboldt home. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's a great event, and hopefully, this will be the year.
This will be the one. Kind of looking forward to 2025. What's your schedule kind of shaping out? Are you circling some things? How's it looking?
Oh, just like I say every year, we're just going to race as much as we can. If we get 60 nights in, we get 60 nights in. You'll probably see us a little more at Wichita.
Nice.
Obviously, Kerry's a good friend of mine and sponsor, so I'll support him as much as I can at Caney. But I love both tracks. On Saturday night, wish we could run 3 nights a weekend.
Yeah.
But probably run Humboldt on Friday nights as much as we can, just because it's close to home and work gets in the way. So.
Right. That
then,
darn work.
Yeah. Saturdays we're just gonna bounce around.
Yeah.
And then if we can go hit some stuff on Sundays, if there is something, we will. And then we may go up north and hit some midweek stuff. So
yeah,
we definitely want to try to get as many races in as we can this year.
I think I said, well, besides Peyton, I think that you're the second ready to go. I think I saw the new wrap design get posted and get ready. So Peyton's already put some laps down. Dallas just moved the car to the house, and then Larry's still putting a roll cage in. So you're second in line to be ready to rip.
Yeah, we're close. We're just kind of waiting on a few things, but we're getting close, and we're excited to kick off the 2025 season.
Without an army of sponsors, supporters, help, you couldn't get this done, man. Think the people on that car.
Yeah, first off, I want to thank my wife. If it wasn't for her, it would be probably not even a hobby of mine to be able to go out and do. My brother, he's a big supporter of mine. And then D&G Contracting, which is Gary Gorby, great sponsor. He's been with me for several years now. Gears Unlimited, always supply me with gears for the race car, drive line, drive shafts, carbon fiber shafts, steel shafts, anything you need, get with me or them, get you fixed up.
There you go.
Hudson Farms, Yeoman Race Engines, Opus Trackside Treasure, Radiant Construction, Chanute Auto Wash, Rick's Auto Repair, FMC, Kevin Lee, a guy I met through work. He's a good dude. Let's see. I know I'm probably forgetting a few. Well, Luke Neiman Motorsports, Rage Chassis, Green Acre Lawn Care Services, Poor Boy Steakhouse. There's Jones Racing. They have a horse race. They breed and race horses up north in Iowa. So, and I think I hope I'm not forgetting any of them. If I do, I apologize. But there's a lot that help us get up and down the road. John Farms, another big sponsor of ours. But yeah, I couldn't do it without any of them. So I appreciate all that they do for us.
I've been asking everyone if kind of what's their favorite class to watch. You guys are very busy trying to get your car situated. You can't always go up to the stands and enjoy it when you're racing. Sometimes you can't always go up to the stands and enjoy the race night. But if you can, maybe you're not racing or you slip away to something, what's a class you want to go watch?
Yeah, local night. Obviously watching A-Mods is always a good show to watch. But I do like watching cars with fenders.
Yeah.
So the factory stock class is pretty fun to watch, and I'm excited for you guys combining the stock cars and the factory stocks together this year. I really think that's a good deal, and I think it's going to help the car count out and at both tracks. And we always enjoy watching those guys. So they do a good job.
Last year we started kind of letting the stock cars from 81 come over, and I think some of the factory stock got a little worried, and then of course Dallas puts it to them.
Dallas
puts it to them and shows them that they don't have quite the advantage that they thought they did.
He had his stuff figured out last year, and I would have liked to see you guys allow them to go over to Wichita one night because I'm not saying the outcome would have been different, but there's a lot of them guys. It's home turfs, Wichita, and
right.
Well, a few years ago, you guys had Matt Collins out there on some American Racer tires, and he did really well.
Yep.
But it's a good class.
JD Choate and his he put on some American Racers and he picked up a win.
Yeah.
That was actually like a lot of good cars went home tonight. JD Choate picked up a win at 81.
Yeah, but we go. So if we go out to Wichita, that's we always watch stock car class because man, you guys just draw a ton of them. I mean, which is great. But always, like I said, we always enjoy watching the mods. And then, if we're at a big event, you can't beat late model racing. So
that's been the repeat answer. Is the late models. We're going to see a lot of them this year. I know you go down to Caney quite a bit. We're going to see the pure stocks at Humboldt as well. So the Caney Speedway pure stock class going to join us a couple times for some more fender racing going to happen, and that's an absolutely fantastic group of guys too. I'm excited, guys and girls. I'm excited to see all of them at the track and let them cut loose.
Yeah, that's where I started cutting my teeth, was in that pure stock class when it was hot and heavy there at Humboldt and Caney, and back when Mid America there down south Coffeyville ran. But we've got a kid in our shop that helps us quite a bit. He actually works for me and eats nuts, and he's got a pure stock, and we're going to try to have him ready for that first pure stock show. So
good deal. Well, next Saturday night we're going to officially end 2024 for everyone. You get not a big check. One of the big ones. It's one you can slide through the tube at the bank and actually put in the bank and get a cool ring, and then of course what I'm most excited about next Saturday night is getting both tracks together. Having one. We're also gonna have the kart, 81 Speedway kart. So we're gonna get the kids there, and we're gonna do their presentation, and we're gonna honor both tracks. So I'm really excited to have everyone together this year. And Wichita Union Stockyards, it's a beautiful facility over there. We're gonna have great food, great music. There's some drinks that flow. If you're in the drinking crowd thing, there's going to be some dancing that happens. And then there's just everyone that loves racing in one building. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. We come in here to get some parts, earlier in the winter time and John asked me what my thoughts were on it. And I thought it was great. For one, it helps you guys have one big event. And I think it's good to get both tracks together and, get some people to meet other people. And then that way, maybe if you're ever at a track, ever one of the tracks racing and stuff, that, you meet some people, you can park by them, maybe get some help from them or whatnot. And, I thought it was a great idea. So we're excited to be out there next week.
It's going to be awesome, man. I really appreciate you. Everything that you do for racing. I mean, you go to Humboldt and you put it to them, you come over to 81, you put them to them, and then you go to Caney and all these other tracks and you show them why that Humboldt Speedway and 81 Speedway has the best B mods in the country. And then a lot of them chase you up to both tracks and see if they can duel it out with you. So we have to thank you for being an ambassador of the two tracks and of the sport of racing, just in general. Of course, I think it was last weekend you got that, got the big check and the trophy for that 5th place for USRA Nationals. And I know that is no easy feat. Even to be in the top 10 in that deal is an absolute, it just takes week in, week out, Monday through Monday. 24 hours a day working on the car to be able to compete with those guys. And what an accomplishment that is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, we're just excited to get going this year. We do got some stuff in the works that I'm really excited about, and I can't say too much, but it's going to be a good year, and we're really looking forward to it. And at the end of the year, if we get down to the point where we're racing hard for national points, we're going to try to do what we can to go all over wherever we need to be. And like I said, I'm ready to get the season started. So
well, buddy, I appreciate you for showing up tonight. I know it's everyone's been working all day and it's getting a little late, so I appreciate you guys being able. And I know tomorrow you're going to go say goodbye to a dear friend and member of the racing community, and that's I hated that for that family, and so I appreciate you being able to come tonight and get this done. And like I said, buddy, we're going to see you next Saturday.
All right, sounds
All right,
good. Thank
Go
you.
get the last one, bring him in
All
here.
right.
We're going to wrap this one up. We got one more, Trevor Holman, going to join us right here on Above the Cushion. Got to thank a new sponsor for Above the Cushion, TM Fencing LLC. Tane Murphy and his crew deciding to help us out here on Above the Cushion. We can't thank Tane enough for everything he does for 81 Speedway racing in general. Humboldt, he does it all. And we got to thank TM Fencing LLC for everything they do for us. And welcome to Above the Cushion. What are you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going?
What's going on?
Not much. Appreciate you coming from all the way from Wichita, Kansas to do this thing.
Absolutely, buddy. You couldn't. We were kind of going back and forth when we can do it, and you said, "Well, I got to do it before noon on Saturday because I got a show."
Yeah. Got to play a few shows every once in a while.
Where are you playing at tomorrow?
Pickaway, Kansas, largest dance hall in Southeast Kansas. So it's always a good time down there. So if anybody's around, they got good drinks, big dance floor. So they give out line dancing lessons. So if you're not busy, come down and learn how to line dance.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want to see me any sort of dancing. So I'm gonna avoid that one for sure. Here, slide over to this one. That's
okay.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You know how this microphone thing works.
Sure, I've been in front of a few, but
well, I was I seen your car, right? Your heat races, right? Win heat races, you're right there. I'm taking pictures, and I'm going, well, that's him, and he's an artist too. I couldn't get it all figured out. So, how did you even get started in the music thing?
I don't know. That's the first thing that I really kind of latched on to. My grandpa raced and always liked racing, went to Humboldt a lot. Didn't really have the funds to race back in the day, and kind of got into music in high school and was playing drums in a band. Kind of went to college, and a guy left to go to Washington, our singer, and everybody kind of looked around and was like, hey, we don't have anybody here to sing, so I guess we're just not going to play shows unless somebody starts singing. And I kind of said if we would switch to, red dirt or country, that I would do it. And that's kind of how I started. So just kind of did that and kind of, gradually grew and try to learn a little bit, every time we play somewhere. But that's how I started basically,
So how many shows does the band do a year?
Full band last year, I don't know, probably in the neighborhood of 30 shows possibly. Wow. Last year. Yeah, we do quite a bit, like in the fall, the street dance season and stuff, fair season, 4th of July season. It's like every week, probably much to the dismay of my wife. It's like I'm at Humboldt on Fridays. You might find me at, playing for 10 people somewhere in a town you never heard of on Saturday. So, we stay pretty busy, but, I don't know. I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go more music maybe this year than racing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Last year was pretty rough. I mean, it's a lot to show up, show up that many times and get the stuff ready. And last year was unusually hot. You grab a couple of heat races where the guys in front of you might have some trouble on the track. And, it gets kind of old.
Sitting in there baking.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, I didn't know you did that many shows.
Yeah.
But you kind of red dirt, country music. That's my thing. I love
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
You guys are, what do? You doing your own stuff? You doing some cover stuff? You doing a mix of everything?
So mainly, I would say mainly we're hitting a lot of cover stuff. So we do a lot of weddings, do dances, stuff people know, line dance. We've kind of switched gears a little bit. I've got some stuff that I'm writing. We're trying to get it out. We're trying to go to Kansas City. My whole band's out of Kansas City.
Okay.
So we do a lot of stuff in Southeast Kansas, but I think we want to go that way, and them guys drive 2 hours into the middle of nowhere, every weekend. So I feel bad for them, but it's my turn to go up that way. So we're excited about that.
Get there and see it. That's awesome. Yeah. I always wanted to play the guitar, just not quite I have pretty good hand-eye coordination. I could just never make it work on a guitar or anything. And of course, I don't have a voice to sing. JR tells me I got a face for radio, so that's why I get to do this.
Well, you'd be surprised. If you go too far back into the I don't know, into the collection of me singing. I try not to look back because it's pretty scary. So it definitely wasn't something I just woke up one day and was like, hey, I want to do this. And if I tried to pick up guitar today, there's no way I would learn it because, when I started first learning it, it was like you could just pick it up all the time. Me and my friends were kind of hanging out and, not doing anything, but I would never learn it today. It takes a lot of time to learn it. And I don't even play guitar that well. If anybody's ever seen my band, we have a couple of guys that really know how to play guitar. And, when you're sharing a stage with guys like that, you really can't even claim the guitar stuff. So I don't know, I try to just stay back and fill in where I can. But,
getting up in front of, whether it's 10 people or 1,000 people, that takes a lot of courage and guts. And then some people say, well, how do you stand down there on the scales or in the middle of the infield and talk to everyone? And if Racing Dirt would ever zoom in on me, you can tell I'm looking at the dirt. I'm not looking at anybody up there. Is that kind of the same for you, or?
It's pretty weird. I mean, definitely I get a little bit squirrely the bigger the shows are. Some of the local stuff, you kind of working in a groove and you kind of can hide behind your guys. I mean, I know that sounds weird being the guy singing, but those guys are doing awesome stuff and I know people are paying attention to them. And then I've always, my confidence probably wasn't this high all the time. Some of the bigger shows I played, I've definitely got squirrely, and you just got to swallow it because, it's do or die. If you get those opportunities to go to a bigger show and you choke up and don't do it, you never know who's watching. But I've always tried to have the mindset of that. If there's 100 people there, there's probably nobody that, there's probably not that many musicians, there's not like a regular person's going to jump up there and say, hey dude, you're doing it wrong. So I don't know, you just try to have fun and not think about it. And, be prepared. We put a bunch of time into it and, we got really good guys to fall back on. And at the end of the day, we're human. There's times I've messed up, and you just kind of laugh off and we're humans up here, doing this. It's funny. John Allen, when I first started racing, he was like, you should sing the national anthem. And I was like, that's something I'll never do. I went to a 4th of July town, display. They wanted somebody to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and I never done it. It was a bad idea. All my band said, don't do it. It's not something that you want to mess up. But I don't know if I had an extra beer or something that night, but I decided to try it anyway. And I started in the wrong key, made it to the Rockets' Red Glare. And if you've ever sang the national anthem, when it goes there, it goes big time. And it was out of range. And so I had to stop, eat a little bit of crow, recompose, and drop down a key. And I was like, after that, I was like, I don't care if it's at Humboldt Speedway or in the shower or anywhere. The last place you want to mess up the Star Spangled Banner is on the 4th of July somewhere in a small town in Kansas. So I'm done. But,
there's enough YouTube clips and reels of celebrities botching it up. So you don't want to turn into a TikTok or reel. You want to turn into a viral sensation for the band, not for screwing up the Star Spangled Banner.
I saw a dude one time. He had a 50 pedal board setup, and it was just this backyard party, and he had this 50 pedal board guitar setup, and they had hired him to do the national anthem, Jimi Hendrix style.
Oh, okay.
And this dude was warming up way before we got there, and we set up our stuff. And he had long hair. He looked the part. I was like, man, this guy's about to shred. And he got to like just this one part, and it was just like a stereotypical scene in a movie where a guy just keeps going back to it. And I was just like, I felt so bad for the guy because, you can carry a lot of confidence until something like that happens, I guess. And when you're a one-man soloing it, it's like, dude, you're just out there on an island. So it was really bad. I felt really terrible for him, but I think I've just decided just don't get into those situations and do what you know, and that's it. But
besides the great music career you got, a little side thing. You picked up a championship at Humboldt Speedway this year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, never didn't pick up a win.
Yeah.
Kind of like Larry, but man, consistency, just being there, being part of it, just week in, week out, just being right there on the cusp of picking up a win and letting them know you're there is what got you. And, you know, kind of going back at what, you know, I ask everyone else, at what point in the year did someone say, hey man, you're in this deal? Or did you stumble across the points and like, oh crap, this is fixing to happen right now?
I think it was mid-season championship night. You know, we always, you know, I don't think anybody goes out on the racetrack that doesn't want to win.
Right.
So everybody's out there and wants to win. And, you know, my expectations are pretty low. And don't get me wrong, you know, I cannot kid myself. You've got Matthew K, that people know well and could win on any given night. You have Tyler Davis, as you guys call the real Tyler Davis.
Yeah.
You have his dad. You got a myriad of guys that, if things would have worked out differently, you know, I don't think I would have won. You know, and so we got to the mid-season though, and some of those things kind of fell into place, and you know, we just kept having like really consistent runs. And that's kind of when I thought, you know, maybe if I just kind of stick it out, you know, and Matt wasn't running a full schedule. Tyler Davis had got a job up at the city, you know, and that's kind of when I thought maybe I could, you know, run for points. And so it was basically a mid-season championship. I was like, well, we're still there, so I guess I better pay attention, maybe buy a few extra new tires, nut and bolt my stuff a little bit better, which didn't end up happening some nights, but that's pretty much when.
Yeah. You know, you have a core group that you park next to.
Mm-hmm.
You got your buddies there, and I think it was at the beginning of the year. Your buddy Blake, he's sitting there in the infield, and you're coming off of 4, and he's fist pumping out this car and shaking the car.
Yeah.
And I get it on video and post it, and of course the internet goes crazy. You know, one buddy cheering for the other one in the same class. But you know, how difficult is it to race with your buddies and still be buddies at the end of the night?
It's pretty tough. I mean, when I first started racing, a big deal to me was like, you know, I looked up to a lot of these guys. It sounds weird, you know, that you look up to somebody your same age or whatever, but you go to these racetracks and like before you start racing, you don't really understand if you got into that car, what would happen, you know? Mm-hmm. Do you have the kahunas to get in there and ride, press the gas pedal, race with these guys door to door? And I don't know. So I really focused on like over speed, like racing with respect. And I think that's where you get to the point where you even can run for points. I mean, there was plenty of nights where, like I can think of one example pretty specifically, like Jimmy Davis, clearly faster than me after you watch on the video. Not fast enough maybe to get around me outright, but I think if a guy didn't respect you, it could move you. And so I think in that respect, it's a little bit easier. You know, these guys, you know, they're going to give you a little bit of room to succeed. They're not going to push you out. But at the same time, when you get in there door to door with a guy that, you know, you also respect, it's going to hinder your performance a little bit. You're probably not going to push it. You don't want to take out a guy that you know you have a personal relationship with, and later we're going to talk about it and say, you know, sorry I got into you. Sorry I ruined your night. You know how hard these guys work. You know how good a guy this guy is. You know how good a season this guy's having. So it's tough in some aspects, but when you know all these guys and race with them, you also kind of develop this respect where it's, you know, these guys kind of allow you to run places that, you know, maybe if I'm a little bit slower than a guy, he's going to cut me some slack. Or if I get into a corner, I notoriously don't drive that hard into corners. And I know there's guys behind me that probably wish I'd run in 2 car lengths deeper, but they give you the benefit of the doubt. So I don't know. It has its plus and minuses to racing guys, you know.
Well, and you know, the other thing that I've seen being down on the infield, I get a way different view.
Yeah.
You know, being up in the booth or being in the stands, but typically what happens if you go down there and push the issue, not only did you mess up their car, you messed up your car, you got 2 bad race cars, and someone else got the spot and took it over
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, racing. John Allen's talked on the show a few times just about as we've gone through the years and go through the seasons. He comes on the show every once in a while and he just gives a tip about respect and just kind of being nice to each other and because you are friends, right? Sure. This is a small town. When Wendell was in the back earlier before you showed up, he ran to the store and got some beer and there was someone pulled over and he knew exactly who it was, right?
Yeah,
So,
sure. Yeah.
It's a small town. You're going to run in right here in Allen's.
Yeah.
You're in here buying something. Here's going to come the guy
Yeah.
that you run over and then you got a situation. So like you said, it's all about respect out there. And especially with the Midwest mod, you guys are so competitive. You bring the biggest car count every weekend. And like you said, it's full of everyone that can win. And then, you know how hard they work on their car day in, day out. You work just as much on your car. And that Midwest Mod Series at Humboldt, man, it is absolutely fantastic. It's probably the star of the show every Friday night.
It's changed a lot. When I first was coming to Humboldt, when I, entertained building a car, they had just started it up. Some B-Mod guys, were racing. Ryan Smith, Jacob Ellison had a really good run in Midwest Mod. And when they first started it, it was kind of like this deal. Guys had some older chassis and guys were getting out there and getting their feet wet in the modified scene and all the things. So, I decided, hey, let's build a car. This looks awesome. 2 years later, when I get that goal accomplished and hit the scene, Midwest Mod has kind of changed. There's no more Saginaw's. There's no more lead in front of the mint plate. Everybody's running aftermarket trannies. Pretty much everybody's running quick changes. You got guys that aren't starting just out racing. You got guys that have raced, and for whatever reason, maybe it's budget wise, or sometimes people underestimate how difficult it is to see B mod. They look at the lap times, or they look at the cars and the way the handles and stuff like that. But you'd be kidding yourself if you don't understand how much different B mod is. And there's a lot of reasons keeping guys out out of B mod, whether it's money or maybe they just want to have fun. And B mod's really not the I want to have fun class. It doesn't seem like. And them guys are dialed in. You see John Sheets, Ryan Gilmore. You see those guys rolling to the racetrack. They're not just coming to hang out and have a few beers with their friends and run good and make memories. Them guys are there to win. And not that there's not that in Midwest mod, but it's changed so much from there to now. I don't know. It just keeps getting faster every year, and guys keep getting good. But the unique thing about our class is it's the same. Since it's a local class, it's the same guys every night. I don't know how many times I've been to door with the Daniels kid.
Yeah.
Casey Jessup.
Oh yeah.
Many times have ran him clean. Tyler Davis, his dad, Matthew K. The 99 car. You just get around these guys so many times, and I don't know. It's pretty fun. It can be frustrating, if you're getting beat by the same guy or whatever, but it's the same guys night in and night out. And, Midwest Mod 2 years ago, maybe it was a little bit more cautioning. I was a part of that, 8 bumpers in my first season, but it cleaned up, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know what people's outside opinion of it was, but, I thought that at one time Midwest Mod was definitely the wreck fest.
Yeah.
But it's cleaned up, and I think there's a lot of good drivers. Another one, Clint Drake, he's another guy that put great runs together and had a lot of good races with them. And I really just didn't have any rifts with guys, and that makes it fun. So
yeah, I'm unfortunately sometimes being in the infield, I'll catch the end of it. If they're mad on the track, they get into it in the line at Tech or somebody wants to come talk about it in Victory Lane, and every once in a while you think something's going to happen, and then it just kind of clears out, and then you kind of walk back to the pit area, and there's a civil conversation happening. Because I think that to your point, a lot of respect.
Yeah.
You might have a helmet fire right at the moment, but then you go, okay, we got to race next week with this person,
with the same guy. You're going to be door to door, probably with this guy. And Midwest Mod's kind of weird where everybody. It almost seems like you kind of have your pecking order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just you're going to be around the same guys. So the same guy that you took your helmet off and threw your Hans at the week before, it's probably not that great idea, because you're going to see him and his family and his kids across the pit, and you're going to see him on the racetrack. So I don't know. I'm just happy to be doing, well, and be accepted by these guys. And I don't know, sounds corny, but it's just, you look up to these people who race and getting into it, not really knowing anything, and being able to compete, and that's, it's pretty fun.
So, kind of going back to when you got started, is the Midwest mod really the first thing you raced, or was there a fendered car you got in, or how does, you've been around racing a long time? But
Yeah.
There was no go-karts, there was nothing to start it out?
I got last in a go-kart race one time. I didn't have the gear right, but go-karts, everybody thinks it's like this fun thing you just jump into, but them guys are just as serious as anybody else, and it's like a huge setup game. And the racing, when you first start racing, your tuition's pretty high dollar, because there's a lot of things you don't know, and racing's a little bit weird at just flat out asking people. And so no, my cousin had built this car for me that I'm driving, and it sat in a shop right across here from Allen's Automotive, and I would go and help him work on it. And oftentimes I would sit in it and wonder to myself, am I going to be able to drive this, or did I just waste a bunch of money? Because and he was telling me the same thing. He's like, I don't know how much money you want to spend. Some people get in race cars and don't like it, and that was a mistake, because now I can't not get in a race car. And so I probably should have just not ever started it, and maybe just focused on music and been a lot better at that.
Yeah.
But I caught it, and it's like a legal drug that you can't really put down.
Talking about the go-kart thing over in the Wichita area, we got I think they call it the Kansas Backyard Karting Association or something. And I think the first year it was just a bunch of guys that had go-karts, and somebody carves out a track in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's fun and games, and then more people show up, and then all of a sudden someone else builds a track, and then I think they were maybe 3 years in, and then someone said, okay, timeout. Now they have a race director and a tech director. Yeah. It's like a real big thing. Yeah. So
backyard karting
is real serious.
Backyard karting to me, though, I do a little bit of that now, and it's always the most low pressure fun. You're not sitting in your car, worrying about the $600 you spend on tires and where you're starting in the heat race and where I need to get on the track and things like that. You can just go out and have fun. So your fun per dollar in backyard cars is probably the highest out of anything you can get into. Organized car racing where you're locked down, I don't know, man. Them guys are pretty serious, and even though the carts are small, it doesn't mean that it's easy or less money or anything like that. So
they still have a good time. John kind of mentioned that you're going to do a little pre-race hanging out. I think you're going to race that night too, but you're going to do a little pre-race music for us.
We'll see what happens. John's talking about getting some things in the I don't know what you guys call it, the breezeway or the fan walk back there by the concession stand. But yeah, it'd be cool. We the band got to play, I think it was the King of America 2 years ago. We had a lot of fun. Racers are some of the best people. When you're living the life of a cover band guy, a mediocre cover band guy, the best crowd you can find is often the most lubricated. So, if you know what I'm saying, and
yeah, back there in the party bar, King of America.
So race fans are a good target demographic. So, any chance to do that, and it would just be cool. John's trying to do a lot of stuff, to get get some people in there and some different stuff. So. Yeah, we're going to try to do something like that. Maybe grab a guitar player and do something, or maybe if I can talk the whole band into coming down, it'd be kind of neat. I kind of try to err on a side that a night that I'm not racing, because I don't know about all of that. But and the guy who does my sound and stuff, he races too. So I don't. It'd be pretty tough, but we're going to try to figure something out. Yeah.
Next Saturday, going to venture over with us to Union Stockyards and get you that championship ring. That's going to be awesome. I hope to see that on the album cover.
Yeah.
One of these days. But Wichita Union Stockyards, maybe you can hit them up about playing there, because
They've got some bands going on down there.
They've got
it's
a
a
lot
nice
of good
venue.
stuff happening. It's a beautiful place to be at. So we'll have to fix you up. The owner of that place, he's awesome,
He's
and he's always there. So maybe we can get you on
That'd
the
be great.
schedule.
There we go.
For sure. But that's going to be a great night. I know it was kind of met with mixed reviews. Some people and a lot of people said, no, we want to do it together because we want to unite the tracks and get them going. And that was our goal from the FOE Enterprises side. We got great racers at Humboldt. We got great racers at 81. Let's get them together because we feel like we have two of the best tracks, not only in Kansas, but in the country. With the competition with the Midwest mods, with you guys,
and the facilities
stand out. We're working on the facility. We're trying to get it better at Humboldt.
Well, I think the tracks, you go race other places and you come to somewhere like Humboldt or 81. I mean, it's just a nice place to race. I mean, and I feel like it's fairly safe. There's no weird corners or anything like that. We did knock some blocks out of the Speedway last year, which is a thing I didn't see, and we saw it twice, right?
Yeah.
So that was a little bit squirrely, but they're just really nice places. And so if you've never come to Humboldt to see somebody, see a race or something like that, there really are nice facilities, and the track's always pretty awesome. You go race some places with some ruts and stuff. That's not really a Humboldt thing. I'm less familiar with 81, but they're nice places to race.
If you pay attention to the smooth surface that Ryan and John do at Humboldt, just translate that into a better track at 81.
Yeah.
I think having John Allen as the GM, for FOE Enterprises, and being a racer and understanding that racers don't want to come to a place. I'll admit, we got a little hole in turn 1 at 81 that we get a lot of crap.
I've heard it might be notorious. I've heard a few.
We get a little bit of crap for, but other than that, we upgraded the lighting over there. Kind of got forced by a lightning storm to upgrade some lighting. We'd like to do that at Humboldt, but we need to get some stuff working. We got the World of Outlaw late models going to join us at Humboldt again. They took last year off, but we got them back this year. We're going to get the midgets.
I love midgets,
fantastic
and
show.
they rip so hard at Humboldt. I mean, you feel like you're going a billion miles an hour in any race car you get into, but then once you get out of hot laps in a 350 horsepower Midwest mod, jalopy, and you get on the back stretch and watch them guys crank it sideways at the flag stand, they're setting on a pair when they go around Humboldt Speedway, and it's just awesome to race, and it's not too big. And it's not small, and them guys really get around it. It's awesome, and those big national midget guys come down.
Oh yeah,
they're fun to watch. We got local guys that run. Rick Horn has a bunch of midget. It's just cool. I like it, and I don't know if we're a sport class that night, but I'll be there, regardless. But it's an awesome night to have them guys there, and they make the track especially smooth when they come there. So it's great to race on.
Yeah, you can't have too many bumps, short wheelbase that they don't, and we don't want to have to pick them up all the time. So we're going to make sure it's nice.
Right.
Going to see some sprint cars this year as well. Make their return. If you're going to be at the racetrack, or like you said, even if you're not racing, you're going to come watch the midgets. But what's another class that you absolutely love to see?
Man, I don't know. The first year that we had World Outlaw late models was pretty awesome. I got to see myself maybe running second in the B main or third B main up on the jumbotron in 3 and 4. But they're awesome. Like the raw speed and the way those guys race, backing it into the corner and stuff is just. It's different than how we drive our cars, or for sure Midwest mods. But I don't know. A lot of people criticize sprint cars for the push and flip thing, but when they get to ripping, that close around the wall, I think sprint cars and midgets, to me, it's like a novelty. I like the late models too, though. You don't see a whole lot about it. Like traditionally, I never grew up, getting to see late models, and that's more of a South thing. So I'm in for all the special classes, and I really like stock cars too, and that's starting to become a big thing. I wish I could afford to drive one. The full body stuff's awesome, so they got a pretty good schedule. But I think I'm looking forward maybe most of the midgets or maybe sprint cars roll in. Yeah.
At 81, probably most dangerous class is the stock cars, and at Humboldt, the most dangerous class is a tie between the Midwest mods and the factory stocks. But
Yeah.
I grew up late model racing, so I'm a little bit different than everyone else because my uncle raced late models. So we would go travel the country in the late model. So I was really accustomed to that, as we're, around here, you don't see it a whole bunch. So late model is definitely my favorite. But like you said, to be I've had a great opportunity to be down in the infield at 81 and Humboldt when the midgets rip around there. And it's, there's nothing, like you said, Humboldt, the front stretch is not that long, but when Ryan Timms turns it sideways at the flag stand to diamond off one, it's something to catch on camera.
They're already pointed in there, and the chassis are just so small they can flip at any minute. They're sitting on a motor on just a lightweight chassis. They're just awesome, man. And the Chili Bowl, I don't know if you watch much about it, but it's some of the best racing. And I feel like midget racing is some of the best racing, hands down. I mean, when you talk about their movement in between cars, they got no problem pulling sliders on each other. I mean, late models stuff it in there pretty good too. But with that much exposed, they take pretty big risks. But all them guys, it's like they start those kids at like 10 years old and something, and by 14 they're driving for Keith Coons and they're rocketing. So, but they're cool.
Well, if you've not been down to Tulsa to the Expo Center to watch the Chili Bowl,
I've been, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd highly recommend setting up a gig so you could be down there for the week and then watch. But if anyone watching tonight for Above the Cushion has not been down to the Chili Bowl, it is a bucket list to do because it is absolutely awesome, and
it's accessible too.
The way that they pack the pits in there is someone's a Tetris champion at some point there. So.
Well, you're not going to just go down. Oh, do we got a guest feature here or what?
Kent Allen going to join us here. He's got his. We know who he's going for the Super Bowl. He's got a refreshment drink ready to happen. What do you guys? Who's winning out there in the shop?
I don't know. John Allen's pretty wound up tonight, but we're still probably some of the best old racing stories I've heard in a long time.
I'd asked to get some Humboldt people on here. And of course, your dad said, well, call my dad. And then I called him and he goes, no one wants to listen to anything I got to say. So he's never wanted to come on the show.
I always told him, I said, if I start a podcast, you're going to have to come and tell one racing story a night. That way somebody will listen to it. I'll talk about all the useless stuff that I've been doing during the week. But if you can come tell one racing story a night at the end of the podcast, they'll listen to the end. So that's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, you're going to have to maybe sneak it in because he thinks no one wants to listen to him. And I think everybody wants to hear.
Yeah, he's got the best stories around, and he's been around some of the best racers around. So it's nice. I mean, they got an old school way of thinking of things, but a lot of that old school stuff still works nowadays.
Right. Well, man, Trevor, we appreciate you for being here tonight. We want to thank you for being an ambassador of the Midwest Mod class at Humboldt Speedway, and I want to give you this opportunity to thank your sponsors and everyone that helps you on that car and to get you to the championship this year, and give a shout out for the band schedule too. People can catch you.
There you go. Yeah, so I got a lot of people that sponsored the car that I want to thank: Aaron Brumlow, Brumlow Stud Service, Derek Caudell, Rockwell Energy, Brummel Farm Service in Garnett, Kansas. If you guys got any spraying needs or anything like that, they do a great job. My dad at Quinney Transport, Les Holman, Wings, Luke Decker at Decker Show Goats, and it's a real thing. They got some nice goats.
Show goats.
If you need a show goat.
I'm a big goat guy.
I was actually having a conversation with a coworker today. So where I work, they all went to school together. I work at a college. They all graduated college together there, but they started talking about goats, and one guy threw out a last name, and he said, well, if you say that in front of my wife, she's going to ask a million questions because that's her favorite goat people. I'm like, what did I just walk into right now?
It's like it's another world like racing. Just don't get your feet wet and stay out of it. There's a hobby that somebody's going way too far in for everybody. It's racing, it's music, it's goat showing. There's a hobby for everybody. But yeah, other than the sponsors, just a lot of family helps me out. My dad, Squint, Derek, Ted Spencer built my motor, which ran good this year, and it was an upgrade for me for sure. Squints Grant, Paul, Rod, all them guys, they come to the races every week. We've got a good group of folks that come and watch the races. Aunt Pam, Brad, all them guys come and watch the races. So it makes it fun. And there's people that help us get there every week. And it's just a lot of work to be there every week. And so without, 30 plus people in some form or fashion in the season, we couldn't have been there. So I was good. But if I wreck the car and roll down the front stretch, I got to knock on wood. We're not going to do anything like that. But if I do, I want you to keep in mind, if you keep a microphone, maybe we could bounce some stuff off each other in the tower. I could go in the infield, really get the drama. We could be a team. So if I don't have a career in racing, maybe I could come and do a little bit of broadcasting. But I appreciate
I don't think Harry back. You got to thank Harry back there.
Harry, yeah, I got to thank Harry. The biggest guy, I almost forgot, he's here. Dennis Bishop built the car, set it up. Like I told you, I knew nothing about racing modified other than I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And Dennis Bishop built me a car, set it up, and he's always there in the infield running the scales. And so when I really screw up, I can just pull in there and get it chewing, and we move on our way. But nothing would have happened without him. So
I get those
appreciate
quite
you
often
that.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
Dennis is one of the best guys around this area for the sport. I mean, he helps all of us young guys out. If it's something I don't know about, I can call him. He can either tell me about it or he'll come out to the shop and help me. And he does the same for Trevor and many other racers around here. And if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be the young guys around here racing. I mean,
And if any of the racers that are struggling out there that needs help, just look for the hippie in the overalls in the infield. He'll set you straight.
yeah, you just got to work on your approach to asking the question. That's the
If
secret.
if you're really not sure who it is, it gets dropped off in a special side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after the races.
He may verbally assault you, but soon after that, he's going to get your race car right on track.
If you worry about feelings, race is probably not sport for you anyway.
It's not going to be a good feelings thing.
Yeah.
He'll get your race car going.
He'll make you pass.
Give a shout out for the show tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow night, if everybody's feeling like doing a little line dancing at the biggest dance floor in Southeast Kansas, Pickway Nights Hall, have a good time. We get to go there about once a month, and we like to burn it down. And if you don't know how to dance, there's a lot of people that are willing to teach you. So come have a cocktail or two and learn how to boot, scoot, and boogie, I guess. But they have a good time down there, and we always appreciate going down there. So hope I can see some folks out there tomorrow night.
Cover charge to get in.
$10.
$10 to get in the
Yes,
door.
sir.
That's a deal.
And the drinks are a good deal. I think the beers are like $3.
That's
Mixed
not
drinks
bad.
$5. So
It's a pretty good.
bad deal.
It's a pretty
deal.
good
That's
setup.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little dangerous on the dance floor. You haven't seen me in action. I took a dance class at Pitt State, so I got the country line dances and all the two-stepping down. So
If
I'm
you're-
about to come show you.
Okay, all right. If you're half as dangerous on the dance floor as you are on the racetrack, I don't know if I want you coming to Haymaker. I'm just kidding. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Well, Kenton's here. One of the original hosts of Above the Cushion. You and Eric Chesterman kind of kicked it off that first year, and then the drive became a little too much, and you had a lot going on. And
Yeah, we had a kid
there was
and
a business, and there
I had
was
a
life,
job
and-
change
yeah.
and everything else. But you guys do a great job with it. I'm glad you guys keep it alive. And I mean, this thing's the best thing for the sport. I mean, everybody wants to stay updated, stay a part of it. It's good for information, and it's good to hear about the race recap and get the drivers on here so people can relate to them. And I really appreciate you, Andy, and everybody that does this deal, and JR for continuing to let us do it, and John and my dad and John and everybody that lets us do everything here. And it's really good for the drivers and the fans and everything. So it's awesome. I appreciate you guys.
I got to get more. I really got. Maybe I just got to get a little recorder or something on my phone. Get around your grandpa and get some stories, because I got the message that says no one wants to talk to me. So
yeah, he's got them. We just we got them wound up tonight. So tonight's a good day to get the recorder out. But no, we're all having a good time. We got all the racing champions here, well-earned championships at one of the toughest USRA tracks in the nation.
Absolutely.
And it's just been great. We've been out here talking about new cars, old stories, new stories, and this night here is what racing is all about: bringing friends together. It's a community. We all help each other, and we got the best people in the sport. And I don't know where I'd be without it, man. It's just the best thing ever.
Well, while we got you here, let's see. I heard Kenton is banned from the dance halls in Allen County with the damage he does on the dance floor. That's from James Furman.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I learned how to dance in Crawford County, so Allen County hasn't really accepted it. We're going to have to make a Footloose 3 or something.
Well, while we got you here, and appreciate you being here and hanging out, what's 2025 look for Kenton Allen Racing?
Man, we got a lot of changes this year. Last year we partnered with Level 9 Racing, and they got us a beautiful CDR chassis, and we got to run the Heartland Series and a lot of local tracks. And we raced for points at Humboldt Speedway and Lucas Oil Speedway last year, and we finished, I think, 5th in both points championships there. And everything's going good. Level 9's cutting back. They're going to run a limited schedule, and for me, that just wasn't going to fit. I'm still at kind of my younger point of my career, and I really want to develop it. So kind of part of the way was with Level 9 Racing and that CDR chassis, and teamed back up with Harrison Auto Racing, and they've been big supporters of me all through my life. And I used to own my dad's cars, John Allen. So Harrison Auto Racing and Club 98 are kind of a partnership deal on a new Hughes chassis. And we're going to focus on Humboldt and 81 and run the Heartland races that fit for us. The goal is to run probably the first 8 Heartland races, kind of see where we're at. But we'll be back at 81 Speedway a lot more. Obviously, everybody knows it's my favorite track, and it really fits my driving style, and that's where I've had the most success at. So I'm really excited about my partnership with Harrison Auto Racing. We got to keep a lot of our sponsors we got new last year on the car and really developing the deal. I got 2 new career guys last year with Evan Lukey and Brace Breckmeyer, and those guys are just amazing. And then Kate Ames has been with me for 9 years, going on my 10th year of racing. So he knows everything from bad nights to good nights, and he's been a part of it all. He's been a part of 2 championships and all that good stuff. And I just couldn't do it without them guys, and they're just kind of the best around. And I feel like we got the best opportunity in the modified country right now, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you kind of set out with the Heartland deal, and that kind of, we've been talking about it. It revitalized, kind of to take it back to where your dad with NCRA and the Hall family, and that's just been it's been awesome for Trenton and Stick and Chesterman, and to get that done. And it's been fantastic races. Of course, they kind of hit it like perfect right off the gate.
Yeah, they got the weather and the tracks and everything.
It was a little wet for USNTS, so that deal is showing up. But just all through the year, I mean, Tyler Wolf picks up the championship, and he's a danger anywhere to be. Oh yeah. It's just, it's been really refreshing to have that kind of be back in the mix again.
It's good for the local modified racing, whether it be Missouri, Oklahoma, or Kansas. I mean, for me, I work a regular day job, so I can't go out and run the USMTS Tour right now. I don't have the sponsors or the equipment to go and compete with those guys, and I probably got the equipment to go compete with them for 30 nights, but not for the whole season.
Right.
And I got the crew that can do it, and I got the cars that can do it, and we can develop it through that Heartland Series, kind of travel, go to new tracks and stuff. But for me, the farthest race away is Lebanon or Arrowhead, and I can go to all those tracks, and my work schedule works out, and my boss is really good about keeping me scheduled up. And obviously, my boss is Peyton Phillips' dad, so they're wanting to go to all them races too. So it's just a really good opportunity for me. I can kind of develop my talents and show what we have as a team, and help build on that. Obviously, everybody's dream as a modified racer is to go on the USMTS Tour still, and that's a big dream and a big ask when it comes to paying the bills and having a family and stuff.
Right.
But it's amazing. Trenton, Eric, all them guys that do the Heartland deal has treated us so well, and like I said, we're going to try to make them all. We're going to see where we're at after the first 8 races and kind of do what we can. But this year we're going to be a new team that needed buy a lot of equipment, and just to get the equipment you need to compete is a big dollar sign at the AMOD level. So we're going to do what we can, as long as we win some local races that help pad in the pocketbook to get to the Heartland races. That's all I can ask for.
Right on. Well, buddy, appreciate you being here. Now you guys drink all the beer?
No, we still got some beer, I think, so we might be here a while.
There we go. Well, I'm going to shut this down. Good to see everyone here. I want to thank you all for spending your Friday night with us here on a special edition Above the Cushion, the Champions Chat at live from Allen's Automotive for the 2024 Humboldt Speedway Track Championships, or Track Champions. I'm glad I could finally get over here. I wanted to do it a while ago, and life kind of got in the way. Some things happened, and I finally made it. So for those of you that are going to be with us next Saturday night, at Wichita Union Stockyards for the Little 81 Speedway kart park, I will have everything set up there. I would like to talk to the kids So if you're going to be, if you're part of the 81 Speedway Kart Park, and you're going to be at Wichita Union Stockyards, stop by and see me. Get there at 5 o'clock because we're going to go from 5 to 5:30, and then I got to get the banquet started. So a little quick 30-minute session for Above the Cushion special edition with the little 81 Speedway Kart Park. If you have any questions, reach out to Emily Davis, Tyler Davis, or myself. But 5 o'clock, please try to get there. We'll get a little interview happening with the kids. We'll kind of get their sponsors, go over the classes that they're running before we do start the banquet for 81 Speedway, Humboldt Speedway. We'll see you there. I appreciate everyone again for tuning in tonight. We've had quite a few viewers. We've gone almost 2 hours, and this is absolutely fantastic. Can't thank John Allen enough for letting me come over to Allen's on a Friday night late. It's been a long week for everyone, and they're back there hanging out and having a good time. And I appreciate all the fans for kind of being with me, sticking with me at the first of the year here as we've kind of taken a couple weeks off just to try to regroup, get some guests on and get going. So I want to thank my partners here on Above the Cushion, the Automotive, Uhlik Music, and TM Fencing LLC. Any of the sponsors for Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway, with us here on Above the Cushion, please go visit those businesses. Let them know that 81 Speedway, Humboldt Speedway, or Above the Cushion sent you their way to get anything you need. If you have any questions about sponsors, please reach out to me, John Allen, Katie Sartain, Emily Davis, anyone we can help you. If you're looking to sponsor Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway, and partner with us for marketing, please reach out to myself, John Allen, Katie Sartain, or Emily Davis. You can call JR if you want to, but who wants to mess with that? Call the rest of us. We can get you fixed up. If you're looking to partner again for Humboldt Speedway, 81 Speedway, or Above the Cushion, reach out to someone and we can get you taken care of. We'd love to support your business as you support racing. We want to thank you. That is going to do it live from Allen's Automotive here for Above the Cushion, the Special Champions Chat. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next Thursday night.